Welcome to Diary of an Ex-Ho. I'm Cheri Hardman. I'm your ex-ho. And this is the podcast where I talk to comedians about their love lives. Today's guest is Marcus Van Valen. So sit back, enjoy the episode, and remember the old saying, always a bridesmaid when you're a hoe.
My name is Marcus Van Valen. I'm 34 years old. Sexual orientation is straight. I'm in a relationship with my girlfriend for about 5 years now.
Okay. Cool. It's good to have you on here. I don't get to see you that often. Like we don't really cross paths that much except for maybe at 907 once in a while.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Is at 907 and every now and then on the off showcase somewhere.
Right. Now, where do you live? What's your...
I live here in Skyway, Washington,
Okay.
kind of about 5 minutes from the 907, not too far.
All right. I wasn't sure if you were like South End, North End, or what.
No, I work down south in Tacoma, but I live up here.
Gotcha. All right, so then the next thing we always do is a marry, shag, kill. And so I'm going to go get that.
A marry, scad kill?
Shag
kill.
So we don't want to say the F word like in the first 5 minutes of the podcast.
All
right.
right.
Now someone's calling me.
Oh, popular.
It's Macy's. Like, why are you calling me? Stop.
That's a Macy.
I mean, I know that my bills do, but that doesn't mean you have to call me on my phone. Okay. That's too personal. Let's see. There we go. You can see that?
It's loading. There it is.
Okay. Let's make
right.
it big.
Kill.
Okay. So out of these three people, you're going to marry one, you're going to shag one, and you're going to kill one. All right. I always try to put some thought into this, but I've been kind of busy lately. So this is the best. I'd made this like 5 minutes ago, but because of your name, we did van edition. So these are three celebrities who have lived in a van because you have a van. That's stupid.
All right.
So we have Hilary Swank, we have Kelly Clarkson, we have Jim Carrey. Who are you going to marry? Who are you going to shag? Who are you going to kill?
Okay, this actually kind of sorted itself pretty quickly as you were. I'm going to kill Kelly Clarkson. She's dead right off the bat.
Okay.
I don't know. I've never liked her music, and I don't know her that well, so no love lost there.
Right.
I'm going to shag Hilary Swank, only because I know her name, and she looks cute. I've heard something about her nose, but it's too small to see. It looks like a normal nose, so I'm in. Shag Hilary Swank. I'm going to marry Jim Carrey because that's a gentleman, and he's going to take care of me, and he'll guide me through that experience just fine, I'm sure.
All right. That is not how I expected that to turn out, so that was fun. Okay.
What were you thinking? What was your expectation?
I don't know. I thought just because you were a dude, you were going to kill Jim Carrey, so
Nah, I want to kill Jim Carrey. He's one of the good ones. We got to keep Jim Carrey around.
I'm actually really happy how that turned out. So, okay. So now I added some new questions. So I'm like looking at it and trying to figure out what am I doing first. So first of all, this is a new question. Have you ever hooked up with anyone because of comedy?
No, I have not. I've only been doing comedy 4 years, so a little longer than I've been with my girlfriend. So there hasn't been an overlap there.
Oop. All right. When you were a kid, what did your parents or whoever raised you call private parts?
Call private parts? Pretty sure just dick and penis. Vagina. Yeah, I don't think she ever said pussy. So vagina, dick, penis. Because usually, she had 2 boys, so vagina didn't come up too often.
So it was just your mom?
Yeah, raised by mostly my single mom. She got remarried when I was like 8 or 9 or so.
Okay. So how did the relationships you saw like maybe your mom and stepdad or other people that were around you, grandparents or whatever. How did their relationships influence the relationships that you have now?
Mm, I don't know. I guess I saw my mom as independent, so I was always kind of, independent generally. But she was dating, she would introduce me to guys who would take her out to bars or, dates she would have or guys that would come over.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was super charming, so he always, he was single in Dallas, so I would see him every year or so, and he just had a way with people. He was just super charming. So, um, I don't know. I guess in that way I saw it, but yeah, it wasn't. I was raised, typical child of divorce, so I don't have that. Um, I don't know that context or of everybody just kind of living together, or being together for 40 years or 20 years of marriage.
Right.
Uh, so yeah, that wasn't my model of relationships. They got along. Well, they got along with everybody else except for each other, really. But
Okay. Um, all right. So now I want to ask you about what I call a sexual awakening. So like when you first like realized sex was a thing, whether it was changes in your body or somebody just told you about sex or you just started noticing things. Can you tell, so when you're a kid, can you tell me a little bit about that?
when I first started noticing sex or like taking an interest in sex, um, probably when I was a kid, like younger. Me and this other kid in the neighborhood would do sexual acts, but we didn't. I didn't know that they were sex at the time. So, or sexual, and it was just fun to do, and we enjoyed it. So,
Mm-hmm.
we would do that. But outside of that, maybe like 11 or 12 or so. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when, I had friends on the block that had pornography. There were boys riding bicycles. We would meet up behind the cinder block wall or something and
Right.
exchange what we had in our little black market pornography exchange. Uh, so, yeah, there. I remember I touched my first boob on that block. That was cool. Shout out to
Wow,
Kaylee.
that was the spot, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a good spot.
Um, okay, so did your mom ever give you any kind of like sex talk or your dad?
Um, no, my dad definitely did. I think he was kind of rooted in the religion part of it, so he never did. My stepdad never did. He was military, so he was pretty straight on the
Mm-hmm.
mission, raise the family, bring the money in kind of thing. My mom, yeah, also didn't really talk about sex. She was a little more open about it, but wouldn't openly like have a full blown sex talk and here's how it works and here's what you do and here's what yada yada yada. That was kind of an exploration of my own.
Okay. So, I guess what I'm trying to figure out throughout doing this show is like how our lives would have been different, or would they, if our parents had given us a sex talk before we started hearing stuff on the streets. Do you think it would have changed anything in your life?
Um, I think it probably would have changed maybe the perception of things, in terms of what's normal or what, just in terms of like looking at genitals, that they're all going to kind of look different. They're not going to look like, what I see behind the cinder block wall or,
Mm-hmm.
um, just kind of that perception of things, not necessarily the actual physical
Back.
having sex part. Yeah, that's pretty, I won't say straightforward, but it explains itself pretty quickly
Mm-hmm.
after eighth grade, ninth grade, when you see people kind of like having pregnancy scares and things, you're like,
Right.
oh, I think I
That's
get
it.
it.
That's interesting that you bring that up, like the differences in bodies and stuff. Like, I don't think anybody's sex talk includes that, and that's actually a really important thing.
Yeah, yeah, just
'Cause-
body acceptance and just recognizing
right.
that people are different. We're humans and, generally
Uh-huh.
male and
Well, and like
female are a thing, but
like
it's
in
different.
people my age, whoops, we lost you again.
I'll
Um,
start doing that.
people my age were like guys were all circumcised.
Mm,
So the first time I ran across an uncut dick, it freaked
yeah,
me out a little bit.
yeah, that would be different.
Yeah, so that'd be one of those kind of things like, oh, well, yeah. That's really interesting. I never thought of it that
Yeah. Yeah, I
particular.
think the act of sex would be the same, but yeah, perceptions and how you would see
Mhm.
sex and people having sex would be,
Right.
kind of that part.
You don't accidentally say ew when someone takes something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he's like, oh, what's that? What are you doing? Kind of thing.
What are you growing down there? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, did you have any celebrity crushes like when you were younger?
Uh, Man, when I was younger, I think most of my celebrity crushes were like Disney characters or the cartoons because I don't know what they were doing, but they were hitting in the '90s and the early aughts. The girl from The Road to El Dorado, Shell, I had a crush on her. Um, I got into Gilligan's Island for a while, so Marianne was
I
a
was going to say,
cutie.
are you a Ginger or a Marianne?
Yeah, yeah, I was a Marianne fan. I liked Ashley from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That was a nice thing. I was an Ashley or Hillary. Ashley was always the go-to. Um, yeah, yeah, just kind of those kinds of. I'm trying to think who else. Kim Possible was pretty cute, but I think that was obvious. I mean, come on.
Do you have like a certain type? Like if you're out, do you notice the same type of person or does it vary a lot?
Uh, I think it varies a lot. I'm trying to look at my dating history. I think it's been pretty varied. There's not like a single type. No, I mean I'd say probably women of color and Asian more so.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, when I was in high school, there were mostly white girls, but since then it's been more or less Asians and blacks, Hispanics, and varying mixes
Mm-hmm.
of color.
Okay. All right. Now I'm going to ask, like, is there like a mainstream movie you watched, just like a regular movie, but that had like a love scene that always kind of stuck with you or kind of really got to you or turned you on that you think about sometimes?
A mainstream movie. God, I'm not good with movies. I can't remember the name of it. I just remember the wide-eyed chick with the nice titties in it. I can't remember. It's they had the threesome with the like two party or like schoolgirl like swim fan or something like that. Um, Cheerleaders that had like a sex with the it wasn't good. Um,
Oh,
but yes.
okay. Okay. Do you watch porn?
Yes. Yep.
Do you have a go-to category that you're willing to admit to?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, my porn category is not then I'm kind of I want to say vanilla. I'm not vanilla, but I like blowjobs. Like that's my
Mm-hmm.
go-to category. So blowjobs and the things around blowjobs are related to.
Okay. All right. Actually, that's the first time I've heard that in all this
Really?
time. Yeah, that's interesting.
What's the top one? Anal or threesome?
No, they're all varied. Like I've heard some people like look for a specific uh, porn actress,
Mm,
and then I heard compilation recently,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
threesomes a lot, lesbian. It's just funny. It's pretty much everybody has a different answer. That's why I like
Hmm.
to ask that question. So
I
I'm
guess
not
that's why
saying
there's
that
so many
you're,
categories.
yeah, I'm not saying that you're a freak or something. It's just it's interesting that with all the
Yeah.
guys that's been on here that that's the first time.
Hmm.
Um, so how important is sex to you on a scale like of 1 to 10?
A 1 to 10, like in a relation, probably like an 8 or 9. I mean, it's pretty important. Um, yeah, barring like I guess medical issues or some kind of thing like that. It's pretty up there on the important list of needs.
Right, right. All right. So what is like your definition of amazing sex?
Shit, I'd say enthusiastic, like just two people are super me, I guess not two people, me watching kind of thing, but they're really into it. You know,
Okay.
if they're just really, really into it and they're telling me like, oh, I want to do this. I want you to do that. Or, hey, why don't you try this? Or, oh, that felt great. Let me make you feel great. And just the reciprocity that comes with, two enthusiastic partners
Right,
who
right.
want to do for each other.
That's a good answer. All right, now we're going to go over to the wheel of dirty questions. So hang on. You only have to answer one. We're only advanced. Let's do that. I'm going to share the sound so you can hear the
All right.
wheel because that's so exciting. And then I got to first clear this sucker out.
I like this sex game show. Shout out to Jim
Okay.
Carrey again.
All right, you ready?
All right, let's do it.
Sex in a car, yes or no?
Oh, yeah, definitely. For sure.
All right.
My car, other people's cars.
That's how I used to feel that way till I got old and fat. And now it's like, oh, I had sex in the front seat of a Fiat once. So things have changed,
There you go. Now you got to move to the bed of the pickup truck. I haven't done
Yeah,
that one.
right? The back of the RV. Um, all right. So, how's your body image?
In terms of how I feel about myself,
Mhm.
um, good. I think I feel pretty good about my body. I go to the gym, I take care of myself, trim hair where needed, and shave my
Mhm.
head.
Okay. What's the best compliment you've ever gotten on your naked body?
Uh, I'm struggling to think of one, to be honest.
Oh,
Nice butt. You have
okay.
a nice butt, kind of. Nice back. Yeah.
Okay. All
I
right.
can't think of a distinct one that stands out that I hold close and dear.
Do you have any sexual regrets?
Yeah, yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I feel like who doesn't? Anybody who's on
Mhm.
Diary of an Ex-Ho, you're gonna come away with an
Right.
ex regret somewhere. So yeah,
Like as in just people that you hooked up with or things you did you shouldn't have done, or how would you?
both, both. I mean, varying degrees of it. Younger, it was kind of just the immaturity and not realizing what I was doing or affecting people, and
Mhm.
then older, the people that I was
Right,
deciding like conscientiously to
right.
hook up with. So varying scales of regret.
I get it. Do you have anything left on your sexual bucket list you haven't done yet?
Oh, yeah, a couple things, but nothing too crazy, I don't think.
Anything you want to share with us?
There's a couple things like positions in threesomes that I'd like to try that I haven't gotten around to trying yet, but that's mostly it, I think. Yeah, different positions or angles or orient or groups of partners, like numbers of people.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. What is your host song? Like if what's a song that you put on if you want, or when you hear it, it always brings out your host spirit.
Oh, man. I can be a hoe to anything. I'd say probably like I think it's not a song, it's an era, and I'm gonna go with the '80s like pop disco, like dance disco kind of thing.
Mm,
Um, I don't
okay.
know, it makes me feel kind of like sexy and groovy. I wanna get
Did you go
moving.
out? Did you go out dancing like back in
No, and that's
the
the other part. I do not like dancing at all,
really?
but I like having sex. So,
Right. Like having sex to a disco beat.
yeah, whatever.
All right, what's your Instagram?
Instagram is at lemonade.made.
Okay. I'll have that under your name so people can see it. And then this is going to come out on Wednesday, this Wednesday. So, do you have any upcoming shows you would like to tell us about?
Yeah, I produce a show called Are You Smarter Than a Comedian on Capitol Hill. We get two comedians to compete against two audience members to see who knows most about our subject matter for the time.
Oh.
And this week's subject matter is hibernation, coming out of winter into spring. So I'm
Oh.
excited for that. And
So
I
do
also,
they know what the topic is before the show?
yeah. Not our comedians, but the we have subject matter experts like a PhD and doctoral candidates
Oh.
that will come through and give a speech to the audience and the comedians, and then they kind of compete to see who
Oh.
knows the most about the subject.
Well, interesting.
Yeah. And first Fridays at Outer Planet Brewing, I have a showcase every first Friday with 5 local comedians. It's pretty fun.
Okay, cool. All right. You gonna put me on either one of those? See, this is
Yeah, we'll have you through.
I have a podcast just so I can beg people for work. All right. So I didn't properly prepare you for this, but now it's the end of the podcast. The last thing we do is that I have you tell me a story about sex. It can
Oh,
be sexy, humiliating, funny, embarrassing. I don't care. Of your choosing. If you have to take a minute to think about it, we can edit that out. So don't worry. So,
okay. Yeah, give me a second. There's a couple that are coming to mind. I'm trying to decide which one's good to air. Um, uh, yeah, there was a time not too long ago where me and my partner at the time met up with another woman that we had met on a dating app, not Tinder. I don't know even know if I should say that name, but in any case, we met on a dating app. Went to a hotel, kind of like discussed the boundaries, what everybody was here to do, what was going on, just that little check in, and then went upstairs to the hotel. Everybody took a shower, and we gave each other massages with wax candles and oils, and everybody got to try something a little different, focused, pleasure around on each person, and just had a pretty good night. So, just putting that out there, I guess, to say that all threesomes aren't like, they don't always end in a disaster, you know?
right. Well, that's cool. Um, do you guys do that? Like, how often do you have a threesome with someone else?
Uh, Not often. I mean, maybe once a year or two.
It's hard to find like the right person for that, isn't it?
It's hard to find the right person, and then just 30, 40. It's just hard to get adults, 3 or 4 adult schedules lined up
Right,
on a schedule where
right.
people aren't on vacation, have vacation time, the kids are away, whatever it is. It's just hard to get 4 people together on a weekend night.
Right,
So yeah, it's hard to do, harder than it seems. Fun and worth it, but
right.
difficult.
Okay, well, we're done then. Thank you so much. That was great. It was a lot of fun. And like I said, this will be out Wednesday. I'll tag you, send you the link when the
Sweet.
episode
That
comes
was uh, that
out.
was quick and easy. That was fun.
Yeah. See, it's not painful at all.
No,
All
not at
right.
all.
All right. Well, thank you. And thanks also for waiting for me and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, no problem. Thanks for waiting for me to
Appreciate
get
you
my
being
tech set up.
flexible. All right. All right. See you later.
Have a good one.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.